Hello and welcome to the Final Fantasy, the Mog House, a Final Fantasy XIV report. Here I have with me Mr. Gibson.
Hello.
Wave. Hello. Ihsan. Wave.
Hello.
And then our fearless leader, Twistbeard.
Present.
Hello, hello. And welcome. So happy to have all of you here. This is my very first cast, all on my own I put together. And I have these wonderful people here. They're kind of like my guinea pigs, really. So we'll see how they come out the other side. Hopefully alive. Can't promise anything. Things happen, right? So, all right. So, have some information for you guys. As you notice in the title, it says that there's a contest. A copy of Final Fantasy XIV will be given away to someone who is not currently actively playing it in our guild. So, how this happens, we need to reach 15 new subscribers during this cast. If we do so, we will have a drawing of the people who are subscribing. Then your name will be put into a random lottery, your name will be picked, and the Final Fantasy gift will be yours. And that is courtesy of Ihsan. So thank you very much. Wave, thank you so much for that wonderful donation to the cause. Really appreciate it.
That's awesome, man.
Oh yeah, it's very exciting. Trying to get more people into this game. This game is so beautiful. I myself recently came back about 3 weeks ago or so. Yeah. And I have been pleasantly surprised by the differences in the game. So polished.
And it's about to get even better.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. There's so much happening. Oh my gosh. And that's actually what we're going to be getting into on this cast, is just the tip of the iceberg. The things that the producers are talking about that are coming out. They're pretty secretive. We're going to discuss a few of those things, show you some of the exciting things that we've got going on in our own community, and hope that you guys will want to join us in this fantastic adventure that we're having. All right, so speaking of which, something that just happened recently on the 27th of August was the 1-year anniversary of Final Fantasy XIV. The game did come out in 2011. That was 1.0. They completely rebuilt the game. It has now become a work of art, extremely well polished. Yes, everybody's experienced that that's here today. It is something so different. And even in the last 6 months, I'd say that it is really transformed itself. And I've never seen another game actually take such initiative to download so much content for its users. And really, the feedback, the producers, they're really serious about it. Have you not seen that yourselves, guys?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Man. I pre-ordered the collector's edition of 1.0 when it first came out and played it and tried to like it, and it was horrible. When they came out with the Realm Reborn, it was the only thing that it has in common is the name, and they added a little, Realm Reborn at the end there to give it the different flair. But the game, the game is beautiful. It's wonderful. The play style is great, but in reality, the people that are in this channel and the people we're talking with right now are what tie everything together. Because without you guys and the players in the guild, I mean, it'd really just be a beautiful game that you're playing by yourself. And it's one of the few games I've played that tie everything perfectly together. Wonderful gameplay, beautiful art, music is amazing. I mean, everybody that's played Final Fantasy, period, knows how great the music is. And then the community and the guild, it's just, I'm going to be playing this game for years and years to come.
Yeah, I mean, one thing you notice is that the developers really follow through on feedback from the community. They really take how the community reacts to heart, and they follow through on what they promise. And pretty much so far, at least in my opinion, they've delivered on every front that they've tried. And if they're not successful on something, they've shown that they're willing to go back and tweak it a little bit. If you take the hunts, for example, like the day it came out, everyone was doing it. There's some broken mechanics. People were getting upset, but slowly, mini patch after mini patch, they've kind of developed it to now where it's in a place where everyone can be successful at the hunts. And so they've definitely shown a willingness to look back at their own mistakes and look back at the work and really put out a product that is for the players, not just for a corporation or developers, but it makes you want to log on every day and play and feel like you've accomplished something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You feel like you're respected by the all of the producers. They take our feedback so seriously, and I've never experienced that in a game. In fact, I've actually experienced the opposite, where you have a complaint about maybe something they did recently, like a nerf to a class, or maybe they've added content or removed content, and I won't mention any games on that, but I've seen the community of the devs actually attack the players because they're like, well, that's just the way it is. That's not a very good answer, and they are so humble, is what I've been seeing. They're so humble, and they take into consideration everything that they can possibly do to make it a better experience for us.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the things I noticed after I came back. Is just so much have been added from 1.0 and even the second version from the time I left when 2.0 came. I took a break, played other games for a while, came back a few months ago, and they have added just astronomical amounts of content. Both new stuff that they've come up with as well as player requested.
Yeah, I think
that's
usually
only
gonna grow as we move on. Sorry, just the content aspect, just the amount of content is literally going to double. By the time we get to when we hit the expansion, so and it's not going to be shoddy stuff either. It's well thought out, and it's going to be a quality product when that expansion comes out. And hopefully we can get a lot more people to join us in the FC over here on the server and boost our numbers here.
Yeah, and like Marissya was saying earlier, most companies, people post their frustrations, and everybody that plays MMOs know there's a lot of complaints that are without merit. People just don't like something, and they'll post about it, but there's really nothing wrong about it. But those other games, this is our game pretty much, and if you don't like it, go play somewhere else, or not in the current tech. So they don't even acknowledge that they would even try. Final Fantasy's been different, where they try and they add new dynamics and new stuff, and they listen to the player feedback, and they let the players know we're listening, we're gonna adjust this if we find that if we do our testing and find that what you guys are saying is true, we will absolutely work with you guys, make it better. And they've done it, they've proven it. They've gone and changed all kinds. I mean, the hunts, that's pretty much the big topic there. The hunts, great starting point for something poorly implemented, but compared to other MMOs I've played, their poorly implemented hunts are like a polished shrine compared to some of the poorly implemented stuff in other MMOs I've played. So in reality, we've been so spoiled with the beauty and the finesse of this game that when something is implemented that's solid in reality, I mean, everything works the way it should work, but we're not happy with compared to everything else they've done. It's just not to that, all the way up where everything else is at. So that's really what we're complaining about. That alone, in my opinion, is pretty impressive. That's like having a car for 20 years and nothing ever goes wrong with it, but the air conditioning doesn't blow hard enough on you, so you complain about the air conditioning. I mean, it's pretty. If anybody is watching right now that hasn't at least tried this game, you're missing out. You should really at least give it a chance, because the game is amazing.
Absolutely. Before we go too far into that, I just wanted I have some outtakes from some of our members, just a handful of them. This is something that we're going to have a continuous theme on with every single newscast, which is every other Friday. We will be streaming raids on the opposite Fridays. So here's some little outtakes. These are quotes from some of our members. So I'd love to have more of these submitted, or I would just love to be catching you saying really weird things in TeamSpeak. So here's a few of them, so you can get, if you're not a part of the Final Fantasy community in the Grievance Charter, or if you are not a part of Grievance at all, here's an example of some of our members. Here we have Alki. Alki says, Lava Fells are amazing, cute, awesome, and everyone should be one. Valendil says, we don't have enough Rogadins, which is true. There's certainly not enough of them. They're pretty powerful. Rubes says, Rubes is such an absolute inspiration to everyone around him. Draken says, I really enjoy Wanderer's Palace. When I get into a group with a new healer, I love to ease them into this dungeon by pulling the first half of the zone into one little area and having a free-for-all buffet of death. Those are the quotes I have so far. More will be coming on future casts. So let's see if we
that
can
one
catch
personally,
people doing
don't
some
you?
really crazy things. What?
You know that last one personally, don't you? If I remember correctly.
I do. That's what Dragon did to me.
And
My
the one
first
for
time
Grooves
healing
only
in
works
like 8
because
months.
no one wants to be around
Comes
him.
back. Pulls. He doesn't
Poor
listen to me. I
Grooves.
say, pull to this point. He's like, what? And just keeps going until the end where you can't go any further. And there's 50 mobs on the screen, and I don't know how we survived. It was dots, dots. No, stop dots, dots. More dots, more dots. Yeah. 50
That's enough
DKP
dots.
minus.
That was pretty much the conversation in TS that day, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Followed by sounds of you crying.
Oh my gosh. It was insane. So, all right. So, another thing I wanted to bring up was we'd already kind of talked about the hunts. The hunts were implemented in, I believe, patch 2.3.
Yeah, the most recent one.
Yeah.
It seems a
So,
while ago.
hunts were implemented, and then we have these Zodiac weapons, which these are things that are new for me as someone coming back to the game. Same with you, Ihsan. So that I would love to refer to our more senior members who have been familiar that process. What do you think about that so far with hunts and Zodiac weapons?
Well, I can talk a little bit about the Zodiac weapons. Playing from day one, it's definitely I guess you can almost say like a lifelong process for your character. You're taking a legendary weapon and you're basically constructing it and building it and adding to it. And the developers have already said that it's going to progress pretty much throughout the entire game. So starting from the beginning, it's not that intimidating as long as you're keeping up with the content, and people were doing fates already anyways, and so it wasn't that bad. One of the drawbacks is for a new player, if they were to jump in the game right now, it seems like a pretty steep mountain to climb to have to get your relic and then get your animus and then work towards your novus and kind of build it up from there, because there's no lie, it is time intensive. So who knows if they're going to implement a catch-up mechanism. Obviously the game's not easy by any standards, but it's definitely rewarding at the same time when
Absolutely.
you work and you work and you work, and the weapon you get is definitely worth it, to show it off to your guildmates and whatnot. So we'll see what happens in the future with that. I'm sure they already have plans for that in the expansion of what the relic weapon's going to be down the line. But in terms of a process, it's definitely something that's worth doing, and it kind of builds along with your character and your class, and there's a nice little story behind it as well.
I agree with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's hard to achieve. It's a legitimately difficult thing to achieve. And what I like about that is it's so easy to level in the game. Like once you get your first 50, getting other 50s after that, it's a pretty simple matter. But all of a sudden you hit this roadblock. Oh my gosh. Now I've got so much to do in order to make my little level 50 instead of being puny. I can actually become a real monster, but that takes some skill and it takes a lot of patience. So I do like that.
And they've added, as time has gone on, they have added stuff to help players catch up. I mean, if you're new to the game, you won't even know what philosophy stones are, but everybody in here remembers philosophy stones and grinding those out to get the gear. And the next patch, mythology was already in there, but hardly anybody was getting it. And then the next patch, philosophy's gone, and mythology is now the way of philosophy, and now there's soldiery, and the caps are lifted on the old tombstones, so the newer players that are coming in can get those quickly and get the gear to at least start the current content. And I have a feeling that the lower levels of the relic are actually going to speed up a little bit, but the more current ones, they'll probably leave, and as patches go on, they'll add little quicker ways. We were just talking about that leads into a different topic. We'll probably get into that in a minute, but the daily quests, the Beastman tribes, we were just talking about what happens to new players. They're releasing all these Beastman tribes and dailies that you have to do for those. Are they going to make those easier? And I think that Square Enix has been doing a wonderful job on not making things trivial to say, but allowing it enough to where the people that put all the work into the start aren't upset the way that they change it for the people to kind of catch up. They're kind of doing a nice balance between, I'm good with the changes they made to make some things easier for newer players, because they didn't make all my work trivial. They added enough just to get them caught up, and then made them have to work to catch up to us. So I have
you
a
don't
feeling
feel like they were gifted anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed is that even coming back, I'm already almost finished with my Animus. The Atma grind is a nightmare, but
Yeah.
RNG,
a week
baby.
and a half for one. But yeah, they made it to where when you finally achieve it, though, when you finally get that weapon, it's like you're all fluffed up feathers walking around strutting.
Yeah,
It's
rewarding.
Yeah, I got it. And it's that level of difficulty that actually drives players on, because you feel like you've achieved something. You actually feel like you've achieved something. Whereas a lot of games today, it's here you go. It's like, oh, okay, what do I do now?
It achieves that old school feeling with
exactly
with the newer generation mixed in with it, because we all know, the past, the EQ1 and the Asheron's Call and the Dark Age of Camelot, those days are gone and they're never coming back, sadly. But they have somehow added that old feeling with the newer stuff, I think, very well. And I've played many MMOs, and this one is and I mean, it's not just because I'm playing it right now, because I play lots of games. This one's just polished perfectly, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. The balance is there, because, I mean, we're talking about relic weapons, but what if you don't have the time for that? You can run Circus Tower and get the soldiery weapon, which is on par with the current Zodiac weapon. Exactly. So they're catering to both. The benefit of having your Zodiac is you can customize it to how you want to play. But if you don't have time to do that, or you don't want to put in that kind of effort, you just do the other path. And they've catered to both sides of the track there.
Okay. We're going to touch back on a little bit of that in just a moment, but something that has been a really exciting adventure, at least, especially for me recently. I'm pretty sure Rigor Mortis in there too.
And Node.
Chocobo feathers, dyeing them. Yeah.
Fashion.
Fashion. It has been an adventure. I have gone from pretty much every single shade except the one I want. This one green that I want. Why can't I have it? This is ridiculous.
Is that hunter green?
So you're green with envy.
I find even the rare ones. I turn suit black, ink blue, like all the colors that people want.
Yep.
But I don't get the one I want. Go figure, right? For those of you who don't know what that is, you can now dye your chocobo by feeding it different types of fruits. And it takes 6 hours after each feeding. And you're trying to find the right kind of color balance in the spectrum And what that will do is it produces, there's tons of different colors that your chocobo can be. And it's a great way to have more customization in the game. It just adds a little flavor. You can match it to your whatever your armor you're wearing. It's really, really fun. But it is, holy moly, it is freaking ridiculous. I'm so addicted. Every day, every single day. I keep feeding him more fruit. His name is Bartholomew. What's yours name? Twist, what's yours?
Sam.
Sam. Okay,
Just
Ihsan, what's
Sam
yours?
after my dog.
I like it.
Mine is Battle Cluck.
Mine's name is Colonel Sanders. It's a giant chicken.
Very nice.
Colonel Sanders.
Colonel Sanders. Yeah.
Aptly named. Aptly named. I like it.
One thing
really
I
like
wish they would do with the color thing is it would be nice if after you got a specific color, if it was almost like saved in a category, and then so like you kind of built up like this repertoire, like a palette basically of colors that you could maybe more easily change your chocobo to instead of resetting it back to the plain old yellow it is. But kind of if you had like a palette that you could click on after you, so that way it'd almost be like an achievement or something to unlock all the colors for your chocobo.
Yeah.
My
that
chocobo
would be
tie-dye
really
at that point.
Yeah.
It would glitch out and be tie-dye, just go down. Then I'll change his name to Skittles.
All right. So, Twist, I'd like to ask you a few questions. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, most people know me. I've been around Grievance for quite a while now. Some people used to know me as Grins before I went to my Twistbeard moniker. I work in law enforcement. We'll leave it at that for specifics. So my schedule can be kind of crazy at times. Sometimes I'm here regularly. Other times I'll be off a day or two. As Gibson pointed out there, I do not have a beard. But I do have an amazing beard in spirit. If you could see it, it would be epic. The whole reason I'm even doing this, why I accepted the guild leader position, it isn't because I don't want to say I don't want it, but I didn't accept it because I wanted it. I accepted it because all these people I was playing with, I enjoy playing with. I mean, and I wanted to see this thrive, and there was a lot of people that had my back, and I took it so we would have this, so everybody that we're playing with would be here. And I might sound intimidating or talk intimidating at times, but I mean, you guys are all my extended family, and I appreciate that. I don't really talk too much about personal stuff, but privately, if you guys ever have questions or want to know something, ask me on a cast. I don't know how deep I want to go into that, but I appreciate everybody. Vadrana, she's not here tonight, but she has been a rock for me. Without her, I wouldn't have been able to achieve the stuff I have, and my officers, and obviously none of us would be anything without the members. So thank you all very, very much.
Thank you, and thank you so much. It's been great having you here. So I've only really seen you as a black mage, but tell us what your favorite class is and why.
So everybody that remembers from the beginning, I was a black mage, very, very heavy black mage. Every game I played, I've either been a tank or some kind of caster. So favorite class? I'm going to have to say it's Black Mage and Paladin. I can't really pick one because I played extent of them. For my raid group, I needed to switch to a tank because if he's still in the channel, Sin decided to leave us. But Black Mage is what I played all the way up until about halfway through our raiding career. So both of them are extremely fun. I haven't had a chance really to extensively play any of the other ones to talk about it, but everybody that's in here right now and everybody that's in the channel will probably say Bard or Scholar or White Mage. they're all really fun to play. So, to answer your question, I hate to not pick one. I would have to say Black Mage and Paladin.
That's a completely fine answer. It can be very difficult to choose between them. Sometimes you feel like doing one, sometimes you feel like doing the other, or you just really like both of them. That's fine. And I get you there. It's so funny how different though. You'd assume white mage and paladin. But no, black mage.
Black mage
and paladin. It's like I am chaotic evil, then I'm lawful good for all of you D&D D'ers out there.
Reroll.
So I know that you're in the rating group Notorious Monsters. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. So what are you guys currently working on right now?
Technically, we're working on turn 8. We have our raid group's kind of cursed. We have our static guys that have been around and dealing with this, and Gibson knows about some of that. But we have interesting issues of people such as Sin, who was in the channel, decided to leave out of nowhere. I'm going to go, hey guys, no more raiding for me. So we have, kind of a revolving door, a 2 or 3 person in the group revolving door. And as you all know, Final Fantasy, you can't really interchange people. It's static because the content at the end is very difficult compared to some other games. I'm not saying that other games aren't very difficult, but the end content in Final Fantasy can be difficult if you're changing people, because you have to know how the person you're working with plays, because just today on turn 7, just changing a tank changed everything. I mean, it because me and Nada, who is the off tank for my group, I know what he's going to do, when he's going to do it, and how he's going to do it, so I know how to act when a mob spawns or when the boss mechanic changes. Whereas tonight we had a separate tank, so I'm usually the main tank. I have to switch to off tank, and that changes the whole dynamics. But with that all said, our group is doing very, very well. We'll get back on track, and we'll have turn 8 down here pretty quick and be working on the last turn 9, hopefully before they add more turns.
Right, the savage modes, right? I think it's what's called.
Exactly.
Ouch.
Savage mode? What? I've only experienced, my goodness, turn 4 was my only one I've ever done. And that was when it first came out, and that was okay, well, nobody know how to do it, so let's just say it's a disaster. Okay, yeah. It was exciting. So Gibson, what I'm looking forward from you is the next cast we have, is you said you're going to have a blooper reel about this.
Yeah, I'm putting together.
Which I'm sure there will be many blooper-ish moments.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'll put together some, facepalm moments, experiences out there, and a little montage, I guess you could say, of all our not so great endings of face first in the dirt there.
And I actually would really encourage any of our other rating groups, because we have 4 of them, as Shiv pointed out. I would love for all of them to contribute to bloopers, sound reels, whatever you can contribute, just to make it really, really funny to see the things that happen in Coil. Yeah. And the news, actually, with the new expansion coming out, they actually mentioned that they are going to be not retiring, like getting rid of Coil, but Coil will be coming to its conclusion after 2.4. That's fine. Everything must meet its end. But what will happen is they said they're coming up with more challenging challenges after that. And I'm just thinking how challenging Coils already are, and then to be saying more challenging challenges.
And good news for those of you who want to do Savage Coil, it is going to be on the Duty Finder eventually. So you can just, go in with a bunch of pugs into Savage Coil and, clear it.
I can't imagine doing that.
The good material for the blooper reels.
Maybe we'll have a mature night so that people can see the blasphemy that happens. I'm excited about it. So, okay. So, actually, this is a question specifically for you, Twist. With there's actually, it's kind of funny, people didn't realize there's actually 2 patches coming out. There's 2.38 and then the big patch, which is 2.4. That's a big content patch, not the expansion, but the content patches. So, and on the heels of that, really literally on the heels of 2.4 dropping within a few months is the expansion, exactly, in which the producers have said that they are completely on track with. They are already announcing a level cap increase, a lot of content, extra job classes on top of Ninja Rogue that's coming out with 2.4, and a new playable race. So what can we expect from the guild, and what should we be doing to prepare for this? That's a big question.
So, as we're well aware, they like to keep a lot of stuff secret until right before they release it. I don't know about how everybody else feels, but one of the greatest feeling moments I had in the game was working together as a guild to get the money and assets and stuff together to get our guild house. It had been a very, very, very long time, MMO-wise, that I had experienced that kind of. I mean, you didn't have a choice. You had to work together as a guild, seriously work together as a guild in order to be able to afford just the plot to buy the house, then the house itself, and then the hours and hours and hours and work that went on to get the items to make the decorations for the house. So when I think of that, and I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way, that it built some solid camaraderie doing that. And a lot of those people had barely joined the guild when we were in the middle of that. And that is what really grasped them and said, wow, man, these people are actually having fun and working together. Not everything is about loot all the time. I want better loot because I got to be better than this guy. You know, I want to look better than them. That's fun. And we do that and we do it well. But I'm kind of ranting about that. My whole point on going on is I'm hoping, and they've already said stuff about the airship dock and all that. I'm hoping for more content like that where the guild needs to come together and work together. So we've already started planning a lot of back, you know, in the dark alleys and with the whip crack and Gibson and them and the, you know, getting money and items and gardening. Go ahead. You're gonna say something?
No, I'm just laughing. It's so funny.
We've been planning, making sure that we have all the gardening steps together. We have people making guides for like the colors, changing your chocobo. We're trying to be stockpiled with everything. So when something is released, the airship dock, we can at the very least start working on it. So with Ninja coming out soon and with the expansion, and they've already said the expansion is going to release as much or more content than when the game released originally. So it's going to be like a brand new entire game that you can play for another year before you are waiting for patches again. So as a guild, we're already doing what, you know, we've been a fine oiled Swiss watch as a guild. We're preparing, we're ready. What I plan on doing is what we're already doing. Continue, keep the communication lines open, and keep reading and trying to get these ideas from Enix. If they actually release some stuff saying we're going to do this for housing, 2.38 personal housing is coming out. So that is something that is coming, and there's a lot of people in the guild that will want to do that. But we already have so many things in place as a guild, not just from my end or the officer end, the members, everybody, we work together. It's for me, after the changes happened, it's been easy. We set down guidelines. Everybody liked the guidelines. Everybody follows the guidelines, and I sit back with a cigar watching. It's perfect.
Right.
Yeah, and just to build on that, I mean, we pretty much have in the FC probably like some of the best crafters in the entire game.
The best.
Yeah, I mean, Node and Rigger, I mean, what they've done in terms of the garden and just helping people out, like, it's crazy. and I know like Final Fantasy games in the past have always been like, you know, a headache when you think about crafting and gathering and materia and stuff like that. But one thing that I know from at least my standpoint, I know I've had people like, you know, Sin and Celeste, back when they played, you know, they helped me out with the gathering and the crafting. And it's one thing that you notice with this guild is that you don't be intimidated about the crafting and the gathering aspect, because we have so many resources and so many people are willing to make you an item here, make you an item there, or get you some materials. I mean, Groove's got like, you know, 10 stacks of like, you know, ingots, whatever, just laying around in his bags, and he just gives them out. So we definitely have people who have materials who are willing to help. And like you mentioned with the house and the airship and that type of stuff coming up, it's like a snap of the fingers for us because everyone's on the same page.
Yes. And I just want to say, because while we're giving shout outs to specific people, every single person, I mean, I could not ask for a greater group of people to play with, because you don't even have to ask. You notice somebody needs something, we take care of it. So thank you, everyone, for being so amazing. I just needed to say that because, you know, we all know Rigger and Node, man. They are. If this game was just about crafting, they would be 100% happy with that. They love crafting. So, with that said, we all, you know, the guild as a whole pitches in and helps, and thank you for that.
We really do have some amazing people there. So for all of us, you that are going to watch this in the future or watching it currently, we are on Midgardsormir. There's going to be straight from the producers, they are saying that they're going to be opening up realm transfer soon. If you are looking for a guild, you are looking for a home, and even if Final Fantasy isn't your forever game, you know, people are fickle and they change. When that happens, though, it's nice to be able to have friends still that you can talk to instead of having to start over all over again. That's what Grievance is about. We're about family, honor, and loyalty, and we are cross game everything. We are all over the place, so this is the place to be. And as you can see, we're kind of crazy. Really, you could be anyone. You can be like me and look like a
Garuda.
My Little Pony. There we go. I look a little bit like My Little Pony, I realize, more than I do Garuda at this exact moment. I don't know which one, but I'm just thinking about that right now. Final Fantasy, even if you move to Midgardsormir, or whatever ends up happening, the great part about the game is they have some really, really great shards. And what that allows us to do is play with people on all of the other mini shards, the little servers. So when you go into a duty finder, you're playing with more than just your own server. That's why these queue pops don't take hours. I mean, yes, given there are ones that take hours. If you're a DPS, I'm sorry, it's going to happen. But in general, if you're only pulling from your own server bank, you're not going to have that many pops. We do because they put a lot of things into the game to allow us to be able to enjoy it with people who you wouldn't normally get to see. So that's very, very fun. And Final Fantasy actually recently, we're now into their second year of deployment of 14. They were just awarded Best Online Game. Just like this is they're being nominated for it. I should say, not awarded. They were nominated for it. That's kind of a big deal, right? They were in their second year and they're being awarded something like that. Usually that's when the game first comes out and you don't hear anything about the game anymore. But this is their second year. They've been awarded again? What does that tell you? The game is polished. What does that tell you guys?
I want to hear from Ihsan.
Yes, I want to hear from you.
So what was the question
I will
again?
openly admit that I was distracted for a second because I was thinking of something. If you read the chat there, fun fact. the game really is polished, and the fact that it's still receiving awards and such, even now after it's been out the second time for, gosh, this is the first anniversary of 2.0, but it was out a year for 1.0 too, wasn't it?
It was out, the game released 2013. It actually released, original 1.0 was 2011.
Yeah, so it's been out for a long time, and I mean, for a game to recover like that, it's just amazing.
It's not been done. This is the first time.
Yeah.
And I think that's why
Yeah.
so many critics and so many companies have their eyes on this game. You know, we're over 2 million players. It's not like World of Warcraft where they made it to 11 million, but no game has achieved that since. That's probably a one and only time. Now the market's so saturated that most games are lucky to have 500,000, 600,000, which is still respectable, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the fact that this game died, and it died a horrible death. I mean, it was probably the worst MMO ever released in 1.0. And the fact that it came back after people played that and saw how horrible it was. And I played it, and I played it for longer than I should have, trying to give it the chance. The fact that it came back, and players like me who played 1.0 and wanted nothing to do with it ever again are playing and are staying, that alone is very, very, very impressive. And it speaks volumes for how much they care about their company, for one, and the game. Because we play it for fun, but they are in it for money. And the fact that they're actually listening to players and that they're making money with a game that died is awesome. And I have a feeling they're going to continue to put out this great content for a long time coming.
Yeah, it's a simple formula, right? You get feedback from the players who are what the game is made for, and they create content that they know the players will like and enjoy. And I mean, it's not a magic formula, right? You know, you create content for the people who are going to play the game, and they enjoy it, and it ends up being a success.
Yeah, this is one of the few times where you take a look at the devs and such listening to players, and they're actually building content based on player feedback, and this is how it really should be done. It's not a bunch of people in the forum saying, "Oh, my class has been nerfed." No, it's,
Exactly.
"Hey, this is too difficult because of X, Y, and Z." And then they take a look at it, and they're like, "Yeah, these mechanics, they don't mesh well together, so we're going to separate them to where only X and Y will fire off, and then after a cooldown, Z will go," or something of that nature. The mechanics don't go away, but they'll change how the RNG works with it, and just make it run a lot better overall. On top of that, extra content, extra classes. I mean, there's so much content they added since I left. I'm still catching up. I've completed the story, and I still don't have everything done.
I completed the storyline forever ago, and I'm coming back to the game, and I feel not overwhelmed completely, just like at a loss. I feel like I'm level 1 almost, because there is so much I have to get caught up on. So if that tells you anything, anyone who's not currently playing the game or who hasn't played in a long time, this means there is so much content at what is considered endgame, right? End game. No, it's not really end game. It's the beginning of the game, because you're learning the game post 50. Oh, I'm not post 50, pre 50. Post 50? No. You are now a part of the meat of the game, and you're really getting to enjoy it for what it has to offer you, which is really, really spectacular and so exciting. That's why when I came back, I wasn't even sure that, okay, well, let's see what's going on, but I came back immediately sucked in. It happened like that. Just like that.
To add to that, you know, a lot of people complain when they get to in-game and other games. There's not enough, or it took me a month to clear this. I've been playing since obviously 1.0 and then beta for A Realm Reborn. And other than the last couple weeks, I played a lot, addiction level playing. And I haven't scratched the surface of some of the content I can do. it's the end game is really, I mean, the game is built over end game, and they didn't neglect leveling. Leveling was amazing, fun. The story, I mean, it's a Final Fantasy game, so the fact that players generally like to complain, us included, about how long something takes or how much there is to do, but the same thing reverse happens. There's not enough in game. There's too much. That was too easy to complete. So I think Square Enix has been doing a great job on trying to find that balance there, because I've had fun the whole time. And while yes, I might have complained a little bit about the Novus, I was still one of the first people to get one. So complaining aside, it wasn't like it was difficult. It was time consuming, but I had fun along the way. And then the camaraderie it made with the other people working on it at the same time. The races of like the Atma grind. You'd get with 3 or 4 guildies, and the next thing you know, you're the last one there, and you were the first one there, and cursing their names for getting them before you. It made it fun. So I like the fact that this game has a ridiculous amount of in-game, because all the other MMOs that I stopped playing, it was for that reason, that there was nothing to do. I'd log in and sit in the main city chatting, and then eventually the chatting wasn't enough and moved on.
Yep.
That hasn't happened in Final Fantasy.
Hasn't happened. Exactly. It's just fantastic. Since we don't have Vidrana here, sadly, she will be joining us on the next cast so we can interview her. She wants to talk about her axes, what life as a Rogadin is like, and the Weekend Warriors. So what I would like to ask, as we're starting to cool off here, is, hey, Gibson, we already talked to Twistbeard about himself. Tell us a little something about yourself.
Well, let's see. Okay, I don't know if I can tell you a secret, but let's see. I'm a high school math teacher, so that's kind of exciting, and I specialize in geometry. So if you have any questions about shapes or stuff, I'm sure I could help you guys out. I like drawing and making diagrams, and a visual learner, visual thinker, and so every day is exciting. I get to work with I guess the future of America, if you want to say.
Yep.
Hopefully I'm making a good influence on them, but it's a rewarding career, and I enjoy it. And then once my kids find out that I play video games and I play online stuff, I'm instantly the #1 coolest teacher in the world, of course. So yeah, of course.
How could you not be?
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, so that's my life outside of Grievance here.
I want to personally say thank you for being someone who is willing to jump into the school system and teach our children. That's a really, really big deal, and there's not enough of you who are just, especially someone like you. I can only imagine if you were my teacher. That would have been so awesome. So thank you for doing something.
It's not a bad gig, yeah. I mean, people rag on it a little bit, and you hear teachers complain and stuff, but it's not that bad a gig. It's a good life.
It'd be funny if I got to see you on Twitch, huh?
Yep.
Let's see. You're already a part of
Notorious Monsters.
You're Notorious Monsters, yes.
Yes. Actually, a stable roster spot there. One of the few.
Right. So why don't you tell us about your favorite class in Final Fantasy XIV and why?
Okay, good deal. Well, yeah, like Marissya said, I'm filling in for Vidrana here. Evidently, Friday nights are when she washes her Rodigan's hair, so she's not able to make it. But I'm sure she would be willing to talk for hours about how wonderful Rodigans are and how they are the supreme race in Limsa and whatnot. So anyways, my favorite class, I play a bard, And I enjoy the Bard because it's flexible, and that you can like DPS on the run. I think they have really good animations. Their weapon models are really cool, and the animations seem to be like seamless and flawless. And the amount of skills and attributes that they have just like totally define the class, and a really well-rounded and very flexible play. My other favorite class is to play the Scholar, which is a healing class. Previously, in all the MMOs I've played, I've always played a healer and rated as a healer. So I'm always kind of drawn to that a little bit. And the Scholar has a real kind of cool play style. It's not always just direct heals. You kind of use shields, and it's a semi-pet class, and you have a couple of different types of pets depending upon the situation that you would want to use, and have a neat little mechanic where they can kind of switch their attributes out to contribute a little to DPS. So not by any means a great scholar, but it's certainly one of those classes where if you can master it, I think it would be like a really enjoyable class to play at the end game level.
I love it. I love it. I remember looking to you for a lot of Bard tips, and I actually will need to be hitting you up very shortly because, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a while. I played my Bard last night in Circus Tower.
Spam straight shot.
Well, that's pretty much what happened. I was like, I'm pretending to DPS. Hopefully nobody actually knows what I'm doing.
Yeah, they always blame it on the Bard anyways, so.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, you just were so good at it. So, oh my goodness. Also, well, I wanted to know really random questions. So, how many people or how long is your blacklist in the game?
It's almost full, actually. Those of us who started off in Final Fantasy: A Realm Reborn from the beginning probably remember a few things. They remember the 3102 airs or whatever that was, where it took us probably seems like a day just to log into the game. So there's the constant login errors at the beginning. They probably remember fate grinding over and over and over again at the beginning. And of course, they remember constantly being whispered by gold sellers over and over and over again until their blacklist was full. And then you think you'd be
built into the game.
Pretty much. And then you finally give it a couple months, you start deleting names. They would do a good job of kind of suppressing the gold sellers every once in a while, and then you just be hit with like a wall of text. Anytime you got into a major city, it would just be like, you think you have a bunch of friends? No, it's actually gold sellers whispering you. And so yeah, your blacklist is pretty much constantly full. I think there's probably like a 17, page Reddit post about how we need more space on our blacklist. Like that was the number one concern from the player base.
Right? It totally was.
They did.
Groups would like me to talk about pre-level 50 hunting. You're such a jerk.
Level 50 hunting.
All right, so we'll talk about that for like 30 seconds. Groups took me newly back to the game, had no idea what a hunt was. I'm level 32 maybe on a scholar, and he's a level 50 110 whatever he is, with all of his little I-110 buddies, and a hunt mob pops up, and apparently it was I think it was an A rank or an whatever. No, which one's a harder one again? A rank or
S rank?
It was an S rank, I believe. And this wonderful Australian man.
I wouldn't say wonderful, but Australian man for sure.
Yeah.
I think you're wonderful, Groups.
He ran by the mob and said, "Don't worry about it. It won't aggro you. It's only if you initiate combat with it." So I'm like, okay, because I'm trying to get to just on the other side of where the hunt mob is, and so my level 32 butt goes by the the S rank, and it instantly turned on me and belly flop. It was the bird in one of the zones. It just went like this. And I was flattened to the ground dead. And I'm pretty sure there was about 40 people that watched it happen because they were getting set up to kill it. Thank you, groups, for that
And that probably caused
eye-opening
all the
experience.
You probably caused some grief among everyone there for pulling early.
It's been pulled! Attack!
No, actually, I think they didn't pull that time. They just laughed.
What was she?
Now,
One of them raised-
Ihsan, are you ready? It's now your turn.
It's my turn. Okay.
It's your turn. We would love to know something about yourself.
Who am I? I'm a software developer. I do everything from desktop applications to websites. That's pretty much it. I can go on talking about it, but I fear that most people end up like my poor wife does and get the kind of glazed look in their eyes. You know, when they mentally go to their happy place and they want you to feel that they're listening, but really their brain has broken and is giving you the disconnection error.
I don't know. Gibson's math teacher. He'd probably understand.
There we go.
He probably could understand. A lot of it is math. More so than people believe. But I enjoy it. I love what I do. I work a lot of hours, but I love what I do. So it's not really work for me. And I'm always learning something new. And that's one thing I like about it. To clear up those who are wondering, I am actually Hachiuri. That is my original name. That's where I'm known on the internet, is Hachiuri. The reason I went as Ihsan for grievance is because my wife swore up and down no one could pronounce that and wanted me to choose a name that someone could pronounce. So I go with Ihsan. And they still can't pronounce it, so I should have stayed with Hachiuri.
How about like Bob?
We were just talking about that too. How is it? Ihsan? Is it Ihsan?
I get called Ihsan, 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 and hey you. I also get called other choice names that are not allowed on this channel. But yeah, I definitely enjoy what I do. So if anyone has questions, I've offered to actually help people with that. Many times I've tutored people before. I've helped fellow professionals and such with college work. I do it all the time. I even tutored mathematics for a long time while I was in college. So it's definitely something to go. Favorite class?
That's the next question.
Okay.
Favorite class and
next
why?
question. Favorite class? My only class is Black Mage. My only combat class is Black Mage. I have a lot of crafting classes and farming classes. I am the Dirty Gold Farmer. I love my Black Mage. I like setting things on fire. I like threatening to set people on fire. It's something freeing about it. I don't know what it is. I just get this childlike glee and warm fuzzy feeling when I see things exploding in front of me, and I know that I caused it. But what people may not realize about me with my slightly twisted personality is that in the side, when no one is looking, I am leveling a white mage. And I'm enjoying it.
Uh-oh.
He won't heal you with it. He'll watch you die with it, but he's leveling a mage.
Yeah, many a times I have healed the tank on my black mage because the healers and my pugs can't keep up. But yeah, in games I normally play tank characters. I actually normally do not play a DPS. I've always played tanks. And Final Fantasy was the first time I went with a DPS and a range of all things. On top of that, I'm also playing a healer, which is the first time. My wife has always played the healers in our group. And
stereotypical.
I know, right? I mean, she cooks, she enchants my stuff, she makes my armor, you know, and she's my healer. She's also a better player than me. seriously, better player. But yeah, I would have to say it's definitely white mage and black mage. White mage is not as easy as you think it would be.
No,
I just sit back and heal.
To be good at really any of them, you have to actually look at
be on the
benefits,
ball and know exactly what you're doing and know when your tank is going to get squished.
Timing is imperative.
Timing is very, very important.
We kind of already touched on your thoughts of the new content that was released and how it left an impression on you. And you did talk. We actually kind of hit those points, which is really, really wonderful. But what I want to talk about with you, being a player that has recently come back, is since we have all these really helpful people in the guild, what has been your experience with some of our members that left a mark on you? Hopefully good.
Groups is great to drink with. He's very good to drink with. When we have drunken raid night, you guys should all definitely join in that.
It is awesome.
It will leave an impression. It will leave an impression. Mature people only. Children, you are not allowed to drink. But
it is illegal, and I will find you.
He will find you. See that?
I will call home.
The impression of the guild. I actually joined Grievance, the organization, solely because of the Final Fantasy Guild originally. Sarah and I were looking on the Warcraft forums, and she was looking for a WoW guild. I wasn't really interested in WoW. I was looking into coming back to Final Fantasy to see what 2.0 was, because I was like, well, I had the 1.0 Collector's Edition. I might as well check and see if they lived up to their promise. And then I loaded it up, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, okay. Holy crap. It was amazing. The first time I came back in the 2.0, and I was there in that battle of Katnu when everything got blown to bits.
Yeah.
So they ended epically, and then it came back, and it was like a phoenix rising from the ashes.
Really great analogy for that. It really is.
Yeah. And then Grievance has just tied that in. The Final Fantasy Grievance group definitely tied it in. I cannot find a better bunch of people. I've been with many, many gaming communities, many guilds in my time. Some of them I still talk to members of, but Grievance is by far the longest running clan group that I've been with in my history of gaming, and I've been gaming for a really long time.
That's really awesome to hear. I feel like my experience has been much the same, and I love to hear that. I really do. So, from here, specific questions to you. Anything else that you'd like to add?
Anything else I'd like to add? Shiv is talking about streaming our raids. I could probably sum up those streams for you. It'll be what not to do while raiding, also known as Lalafell Misadventures. There will be many times of me dying, exploding, burning, catching on fire, exploding while catching on fire.
Catching on fire, then exploding.
Special.
And then once in a while, we'll activate Shiv's camera so you can see that one vein. His forehead just start to...
Yes.
Or he'll or if you ever heard the conversations, you guys really should jump in when we're raiding and just listen to us. It is definitely a mature raid, but you could do a comedy skit off of what we're doing to each other while we're raiding. Seriously, it's awesome. It's a great group. I wasn't expecting it.
Just so this thought comes into my head since you're saying that. I've noticed all of our raid groups seem to be able to have that fun and still get stuff done, and then stay focused when you need to be focused. But you go into a raid group and you can jump in. Like I've jumped in channels just to listen to you guys, and
Yeah.
obviously everybody gets frustrated sometimes. It's a raid, and that's what they're there to do. But listening to you guys play, and this goes for all the raid groups, hearing the jokes and the fun, and oh crap, I just died, and everybody laugh about how you died. That's something that I've really enjoyed with Grievance. We still get raids done, maybe not as fast as a super hardcore guild, but we're having fun while we do it. And you're not just a DPS, you're Ihsan or Ihan or however you say your name.
I am the sacrificial Lalafell. That's actually not a joke. When RNG is going bad for us, they actually tell me to run out and sacrifice myself to the boss. That has happened.
That's going to be part of the fun. That's actually a big part of it, is that we are recognizing individual members, all of their great advancements, and then their quirky behavior for all the things that they do. So you're in a raid, know who you are, and you're not just a warm body. You're
Exactly.
not. And that's the really important part. We have hardcore players. We really do. We have hardcore and casual. We have everything between.
Yeah, we have members that have cleared turn 9 many times. But, they stick around because it seems overused, but I can't think of a better word than family. None of us might not share blood with each other, but I could probably show up at any of your houses and sit down and like we've known each other for years. MMOs in general have come a long way for. I'm in Northern California, 6,000 feet up in the mountains, and I'm talking to you guys right now, face to face. Been playing games with you now for years. It's amazing. Before I go on another rant, I just wanted to say that I love being able to play with you guys. And with my job, a lot of people go play games to relax or whatever. I really do play to relax. Even when I'm frustrated, I'm still relaxed. It's awesome.
It is. And the segue off of what you're saying is, I've been to the real life get together for Grievance, which happens usually in June every year. It's a fantastic event. And the thing that I was able to express was I could sit down with anyone that was there. I didn't know them, but we would share with each other what our gaming handles were, who we were on TeamSpeak, and then we could share a conversation. And I felt like I was with family and friends, very comfortable. And so that joining us is what we're about right there.
Yep.
To speak on that, plan on going to the next year's get together. Everybody plan on it. Start putting $20 aside, $10 aside, whatever. It's going to be easy to get to this year. I'm sorry.
It's how much?
No, I was saying start putting $20 aside here, $10 aside there. Because I plan on being there. So if you guys want to meet me in real life, I plan on being there.
It's in Atlanta, Georgia.
It's in hot Atlanta. Right? It's going to be a blast. And something else that's happening that's just really amazing that I get to be a part of, and there's me a few of us others, and we're all going to be streaming it live the entire time. It's something called PensaCon, which happens at the very end of February. So stay tuned for more news about that in the future. We're going to have a lot of really exciting things happening, and some pretty some pretty funny stuff. More wigs, I promise you. And also from this cast, you will be able to choose within the color range that I have my next wig that I use. And maybe you can choose what I do if I want to paint my face all pink or black or purple or something, whatever you guys want. Go ahead and vote
Black and white jester
on what you'd like. I am not a serial killer, but
Dash at the beginning of the cast.
yet to be proven.
To get a beard next time. I'll look for a beard.
I actually saw a nice beard up at Spencer's. If you stop by the local mall, I'm sure they got it. It's blonde. It has the hair and everything to go with it.
So the local mall is 127 miles away.
Harlequin.
Okay, use the slingshot.
Harlequin. I can do something like that next time. I actually, what are we thinking? We want to do a black and white face or something like that. I have a black and white wig. Does that sound good for next cast?
I like that.
Go for it.
Make it happen.
We'll see what our watchers say about that. If you would like to see that, not this next Friday, but the Friday after will be the next The Mog House of Final Fantasy XIV report, which we will be releasing more information. And thank you guys so much for staying tuned on that. And let's see, do we have, we're going to open this up for any questions and answers for anybody that is currently viewing the channel. Any questions you have, we'll be happy to answer. Some red. Oh, I can do that too. Yes, Nionia. I have a red wig. Bam. It's multiple colors, but it's definitely red. I also have purple, white, blue, this green one, another red one, a light blue
white
one.
Contacts?
I have a serious green contact and I have a blue contact.
Why doesn't Twist have a beard? That's a good question. Twist, why don't you have a beard? I'm assuming it has something to do with a dress code with your job.
Yes, because I'm not allowed to have a beard unless I decide to go into undercover, which is a good possibility. And if I do, you guys will see an epic beard because I actually can grow a pretty epic beard. It's pretty epic.
Do you have to use fertilizer?
And Sin, twice a day. And Sin knows that answer. He just likes to pick on that fact.
Oh, okay. What is the meaning of life? To laugh, dance, and be merry, Groobs. How many more subs do we need to give away a game?
That was me.
Did we break 10?
I think we need 4 more.
Gotta hit 15.
We need 42.
No, that's 42. That's the answer to life right there. Good job. I like it.
42. Yes.
We what?
We have 11.
Good, 11, I think.
Okay, so something that you like to do is.
I never frown. This is my mean face right here, Shiv. I'm furious right now.
Your mean face? Yeah, we could still give it away. I mean, that would be why it's sitting here. See, so I will be leveling it, but I won't be.
It's Ihsan's game, so it's his choice. If we did break 10, which is respectable. So
yeah, we broke 10, which was
soft cap.
Yeah, that was the soft cap. So yeah, we can give it away. Throw up the lotto.
Do you want next cast or do you want to do it this time?
We can always spread the word over the next week or whatever.
What does the people in the cast want? Do they want the giveaway now or do they want it next time?
So far I've been seeing some next cast, which we could do. Wouldn't have a problem with that. That means It is time to spread the word.
Well, I'm seeing. I saw one. I saw you ask Nestcast. I haven't seen anyone else commenting on it though. Yes. Yeah, if you guys want to be in the giveaway, just type Ihsan with a question mark so I can see how many people we have here that wants to be part of this.
I'll type it again so people can see what to type. What Twistbeard just typed. If you type that,
What
you will
Twistbeard
be.
just typed.
Get ready, guys.
I want to see how many
you might be
people
playing
are
the
in
game.
here.
It's a good time because we're about to be launching 2.4. Just when Rogue and the Ninja comes out and a bunch of other content.
Why do I die so much? So we have 1, 2 that are interested. 3, 4. And I know 1, 2, 3 of those people actually play. Okay.
There we go.
Looks like we got a few people here actually interested in it.
Squigbids, Tempest.
Yeah, go ahead and lot it. Is that Fox?
Tempest Fox.
Would it be a problem if I couldn't
No,
play it
it
for a
would
while?
not be a problem if you're going to play for a while. I don't care what
Zero
your time frame
problem.
is. The only stipulation I put is that you do not currently have the game. I want to give people who do not have the game a chance. I don't care about the mount. My wife is already giving me that.
There's a
That's
joke
awesome.
there
She may
somewhere.
like a mount.
There is a joke there.
But she's not here right now. She's downstairs. Probably watching Korean TV shows.
Squib is, looks like Squib is Twitcher, and I think Tempest are the ones that currently don't play.
That's 3. It's 1 out of 3. When's the next cast, Marissa?
The next
Just so I know.
cast will be 2 weeks from today, so it will be the 26th of September. We will be having a cast on the 19th, but it won't be the news cast. It will be a screening cast.
Okay, and after that, is there one in October?
Oh yes, every other Friday, starting from today. So
Every
the
other Friday?
26th, then the 10th of October, the 24th of October, and then so on and so forth.
Okay, I'm going to give this one away today. And then on the 10th of October, spread the word. Just start getting people to start coming to this. 10th of October, I'm going to give another one away.
Wow. Extremely generous.
I may actually give more than one. We'll see. We'll see how things go.
Thank you so
We'll
much.
see how it goes. But I'll definitely give one away.
That's awesome, man.
Just think with the family. Yeah,
So,
that's super awesome. And I don't want you to feel like you're the only one contributing. We are also having, for people who are not a part of the Final Fantasy XIV Grievance Charter, I'll let you know, this is something special that we are doing for our members that are in Final Fantasy. We are giving away to 3 winners. First place winner tonight, by the way, 100,000 gil. First place winner. Second place winner, 50,000 gil. Third place winner, 25,000 gil, just to participate and have an amazing time doing so. It's going to be kind of like a scavenger hunt, kind of. It's going to be a lot of fun. I really hope to see you guys in our guild joining in. And if you're joining the guild tonight, you are definitely able to join us in on this really exciting extravaganza. That'll be starting in approximately like about a half an hour or so. So we'll hope to see you guys there. And thank you all so much for joining us on our first cast in a very long time for the Mog House of Final Fantasy XIV report.
Yeah, next time we'll condense it a little bit. It's been a while, so there was a lot of information given out this time.
A lot of information.
Thank you for having me on here, Marissa. I appreciate that.
I was so happy to have you. All of you. And thank you, Ihsan, again for your generous heart giving it up a copy of the game.
Yeah, it's nothing. Twitcher one? All right, Twitcher.
Yay, Twitcher! Whoa, what happened?
I need either an email or a Steam ID.
So if you'll just send that to him.
Yeah, where is he? He's
Twitcher. There he is.
Yep.
Twitcher.
Twitcher, I will be sending you a message shortly in Twitch for you to send me either an email address or a Steam ID so I can send this to you. Subject.
And yes, we will be continuing this cast. This is something that I feel deserves a lot of importance. So stay tuned. We'll be having a, yes, like we said earlier, shorter cast next time. And we'll have more giveaways in the future as well, more contests, and we can manage it. If you're on the same server, we would love to extend our guild giveaway contest to outside members as well. Hope to see you guys there. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.